What up? We're back at it like a bad habit. Let's jump back into the DK Ultimate Anime Tier List. Let's jump into this. Starting off with F. And we've got to start this off with a really fun one. Here we go. Oh, I'm scared about this. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Very beloved show. A lot of people love this show immensely. I had this show as like a back pocket show for the longest goddamn time. Seriously, the longest time this was in like my need to watch that, and I know I'm saving that for a rainy day because I know that's gonna be great because of how much everybody loves it. So I'm like, I am saving that one. And when it finally came time, when I finally broke down and started watching that show, the second I started it, after getting through the absolutely phenomenal first opening, and I cannot stress that enough, I saw something that made my heart drop, which was Studio Bones. I'm sorry, but I cannot get into their stuff. Their shows just never, ever do anything for me. I watched 30 episodes of this, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I got to 33 episodes actually, 33 episodes of this. The last, when I left off, they had reached the North Pole, and then there was the girl captain chick, and then her sidekicks that had one of the chainsaw arm and all that. That was the last episode I watched. And it's not that the show was bad, it's that the show just wasn't interesting. It wasn't fun. I enjoyed aspects of it. I enjoyed the character of Roy Mustang, and I enjoyed the character of Riza Hawkeye. And I loved the music. I thought the music was amazing. I loved the first opening, and I loved the second opening a lot. But aside from that, I didn't feel like the characters were all that well developed. I thought the humor was very forced. The whole running joke of them constantly calling Edward a pipsqueak, and him losing his mind, I didn't find it funny. Or whenever they would try to make it funny, they had Elward and Elric in the background and they were drawn super crappily, a 3-year-old draw them. You know what I'm talking about? I didn't find it funny. I don't know, man. For some reason, this show just didn't hit, and I don't know, man. I really don't. I got no words. I watched 33 episodes of this, and I just, literally, the last time I watched this show, I watched 5 episodes, and then when I was getting ready to go to bed, I threw on one of the OVAs of Slime, just in the background. And by the time I finished that episode of Slime, which was the butt sumo episode, I had completely forgotten that I had ever even watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood that day. I'm sorry, but it's just not for me. It's just not for me. There was moments that I thought the show was great. I will say I did also like a lot of the villains. I did like Envy a lot. I did like Lust, and I love the scene with Roy Mustang versus Lust. That's my favorite scene of the whole show by far from what I have seen. But there was a lot of things I also just did not like about it. I hated the character Scar so much. I thought that dude was such a douche. I hated him so much. And I really did not like the character of Fewer Bradley. I thought he was cool at first, but then there was but then, things started getting revealed about the character, and then I started to really kind of hate him a little bit. And another thing is, I think this show, there's the whole thing with the guy who looks like Markiplier. And I don't know, it just wasn't that compelling for me. I feel like it was meant to be so much more emotional and impactful than it was, but it just didn't hit the same. I don't know. I don't know what it was, but this show and me, we just didn't meld. I'm sorry. I'm going to put Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood in. I feel like there's some quality there, and I don't want to be too mean to it because I know there's so many people who love this show, but I guess it's just not for me, man. I guess Studio Bones shows just aren't for me. I'm going to put Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood in B tier. FMBA. Alrighty, FateZero. So I only got 14 episodes in this, so I saw the first half of it. This is the only little bit of Fate I have watched. Don't expect there to be a Fate, Fate Stay Night and all that after all this, because this is the only thing I watched. And I don't really know why I stopped watching this, because I thought the first half, let me let my cat out real quick, guys. I don't know why I stopped watching, because I really liked it. I thought it was really fucking good. The whole Holy Grail thing and them bringing the servants in. I loved Saber. I thought some of the others were cool. I liked Gilgamesh. I liked Alexander the Great, right? Was he Alexander the Great, the writer guy? I liked him a lot. I liked all the servants, actually. And I liked Castor a lot. I don't know what it was, and there was so many great episodes. I liked the guy that had the guns and the grenades and everything. That dude was really cool as well. There was a lot about this show that I really loved, but for some reason I just kind of lost interest in it, and I really have no idea. No explanation. Opening was good by Lisa. Yeah, I like this show. I don't know why I stopped watching it. I'm gonna put FateZero in A tier. I need to get back to this, for sure. Like, this is a huge anomaly, me. Like, I really genuinely enjoyed everything I saw. I don't know why I stopped watching it. Alrighty, Fruits Basket. This is another one. Pretty much the exact same thing as FateZero. I got to season 2 of this, and for some reason I stopped watching, and I have no idea why, because I was just absolutely loving this show from, like, the very first episode. I was absolutely loving this show, and I definitely need to get back to it for sure. This is such a fantastic freaking anime. It is so well written. The music is great. The characters are great. I remember there was this one episode. It was the episode in season 1 when they kind of told the backstory of the blonde hair girl, Toru's friend, the blonde hair girl who was kind of a little bit more like Sam from iCarly. And I remember it just almost broke me. I remember I almost started crying at the end of that episode. So this is an amazing show. I loved it. I will say that I did not personally like the way that season 1 ended very much. The whole thing with Kyo, I thought was a bit out there. I don't know. It wasn't bad or anything. Like, I don't think it was a bad episode of the show or anything, and I'm fine with it. But if you've seen the show and you know what happens in the final episode of season 1, the whole thing with Kyo, I don't know, it kind of came out of nowhere, and I didn't really feel it very much. I thought it was kind of weird, and it didn't really jive with me. Maybe that's why I stopped watching it after that. But I definitely want to get back to this for sure. There's so many things I want to know about it too. Like, I forget his name, but Akito? Is that his name? Akito? The really bad one. The one that everybody was like really scared of. I'm pretty sure he's the dragon. I really want to know what's up with that guy. I'm gonna put Fruits Basket in S tier, honestly. I think it's phenomenal, and I really need to get back to it. Fruits Basket. Alrighty. On to G. Goran Logan. I did not watch all of this. I got to like episode 6 of this. Pretty much the only reason I ever watched this was to see the character Yoko. And she wasn't in it enough for me to care. I didn't really like the other characters at all. I know this is a hot take, but I don't know. This show didn't really do anything for me. I did watch this before I got really, really into anime, so maybe I need to go back and check this one out again for sure. So do keep that in mind. So I'll be a little bit nicer to this since so if I would probably like watch it now as a huge anime fan, I would probably be able to appreciate it a lot more. But again, I only got like 6 episodes into it, and I've heard things about this. I had one massive thing spoiled for me about this show, about one of the characters' fates. So now I'm a little bit hesitant to ever watch it because it's like I already know what's going to happen with that character. So like it's not really going to hit the same as it did for everybody else. And it wasn't my fault. Someone just spoiled it for me and didn't realize that I hadn't seen it. So I'll put Goran Logan in B tier just to be nice, but I would have probably put it in C tier. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it since doing this ranking, so use that information for what you will. Alrighty, Ghost Stories. Oh, what a fun one. Of course, we're talking about the English dub here because, in all honesty, I'm a huge English dub fan. I love English dubs. This isn't my favorite English dub of all time, but it is far and beyond the best English dub of all time. No questions asked. Like, Ghost Stories is so, there's a reason that it's so beloved because the English dub is just that fucking ridiculous and it's so much fun to watch. Seriously, it's such a blast, and especially if you're like a huge like fan of some of the voice actors like Monica Reel or Brittany Karbowski, who are 2 of my favorite voice actors. Every single time that they show up in this show, you get to just listen to them just go completely unhinged. It's such a fucking blast to watch. Like the scene where the nurse comes out, voiced by Brittany Karbowski, just starts yelling at them in like Spanish, actually like almost killed me. Like I was literally like dying on the floor during that scene. And pretty much any time that like Monica Reel's character like is like talking about, have you accepted Jesus as your personal savior? And there's so many stupid moments as well just throughout the show. Like there's this one moment where all the workers are looking at this like map, right? And instead of them talking about the map, one of them goes, hey, if you squint, it looks like a clown. You are here and you're an idiot. Well, it does kind of look like a clown. If you don't know about Ghost Stories, if you're confused right now, this is an anime that did so horribly in Japan that when they licensed it to English dub makers, They told them that they could fuck with it. They told them that they could do whatever the hell they wanted with it as long as they tried to make it more popular and make it make more money. And they succeeded in spades because they pretty much just made it an abridged series. Like straight up, like they break the fourth wall. They talk about like actors and shit. They even talk about themselves, like the voice actors even talk about like themselves in the show. It's really, really fun. If you've never watched the Ghost Stories dub, I highly recommend it. Obviously, if we were waiting, like Ghost Stories is a quality anime, it's garbage. It's really, really fucking bad. But the dub is so damn entertaining and so fun to watch that I'm gonna put Ghost Stories in A tier. I think it's an extremely fun show, and I can't wait to rewatch it someday, man. It's just so fucking stupid and so fun. I just absolutely love it. Oh yes, I'm so happy I finally get to talk about this show. Golden Kamui. I am watching this right now, and it is absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. I love this show. This is my favorite anime I've watched in a very long time. It is so unique. It is a completely different anime than anything else you've ever seen. It's set in a whole different like period, and the characters just act so different. It completely breaks like all the tropes you've ever seen from anime. And the characters are so great, and the show does such a great job in developing every single one of the characters. Like there's this army aspect of it, and they have like all of these like army characters. And normally in a show like this, you'd be like, okay, it's just gonna be a bunch of fodder characters, right? But there's like 10 of those characters that get like a ton of development and get really and just become like, they honestly become like huge characters in the show. And it's literally just like, you could have them like sitting in a line and you'd be like, this is all like, if you lined up all of the soldier characters in a row and you showed it to someone, they'd be like, okay, so this is like a background shot, right? This is like some guy standing in the background while the main character's up front. And then you would be like, no, every single one of these characters is like a main character and they all have a ton of development. And they do a good job. They do a good job in balancing all of it. It's really fucking impressive, honestly. I love this show. The main characters are awesome, especially Ashirpa. She's definitely the best character of the show. And I'm sure the video will probably be out by now, but I picked myself up an Ashirpa figure after loving her so much. And I definitely think I'm going to get myself a Sugimoto to go with her. Sugimoto is also an awesome character. I would say the second best character of the show, though, is actually Tsurumi, Lieutenant Tsurumi. He is absolute highlight. He is so damn great pretty much any second he's on screen. And there's a bunch of other characters that are just really fun to watch as well, like Hijikata and Shiraishi, Ogata, Tanigaki, Inkarmach. There's a ton of characters in this show, and they all are really well developed and really fun to watch. If you have not checked out Golden Kamui, I would highly, highly recommend doing so. This is such a unique anime. This is so damn underrated. I've never heard anybody talk about this show, and it's a crime because this is a fantastic freaking show. I'm gonna put Golden Kamui in S tier. And there's some moments of this show, particularly the last like 3 episodes of season 2, that are hype as shit. Also, the music is great. The story is great. The story is so damn cool. So the story is about like the 2 main characters are trying to hunt. So there was like this old like tale of this like prisoner who went like insane and he stole like a shit ton of gold and he like hid it somewhere and he's the only person who knows where it is. And instead of like telling anybody, what he did was he took all the prisoners that he was in prison with and he tattooed a map onto them. And so what the main characters are doing, and also a bunch of other different groups of characters in the show, are trying to find all of the prisoners and then kill them and skin them so that they can make the whole map to where the gold is. So it's like a mad dash for them to all find the gold. It's awesome. Seriously, go check this show out, man. Alrighty. That is EFG. Let's see here. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Here we go. I imagine we're probably going to get all the way through J, and then we'll probably call it for this one. Alrighty, so H. Oh, I did not realize what's first. Okay, Horimiya. This is a tough one, man. I loved the first 6 episodes of this show. I thought it was such a well-made romance story. I really, really liked it at first. And then the second half came and it started really focusing on the other characters, like all the side characters. They started giving them like all different arcs. And they were just so uninteresting. Like I did not care about a single one of them. I couldn't tell you anything about the last like 6 episodes of this show. The first 6 were so great, but just I just completely lost interest in it after that, because they just completely, like, the two main characters, like Miyamura and Hori, I thought were just awesome, and they did such a great job in developing their story, and then they just completely sidelined them and started focusing on all these other characters that we never gave a shit about. And it's just like, fuck that, just go back to them, I don't care. There's a lot to love about this show, and if you haven't checked it out, I would recommend it. See if you can get into it more than I did, but man, it just took such a drop. I know season 2 came out recently, but I don't know if I'm gonna give it another try, honestly. I don't. I think the opening is really great as well. And there's a lot to love about it. The characters, the main characters are great. Every other character is just completely nothing. I couldn't even tell you a single one of their names. So I'm gonna put Horimiya in C tier. But the first 6 episodes are so good. I'll put it in B tier. I'll compromise and I'll put it in B tier, but I'm not happy about it, because I really think it fumbled it. I really do think it dropped the ball in the second half. Alrighty, High School DXD, or as my friends at work like to call it, Boobs the Show. I mean, yeah, have you seen the show? High School DXD, I love High School DXD so much. You can call me degenerate all you want. This is my guilty pleasure, man. Everybody's got a guilty pleasure, and this is mine. High School DXD is literally like a super fun battle shonen that just can't go 40 seconds without showing a huge pair of tits on the screen. Like, that's what High School DxD is. It's literally just like a battle shonen, and it's actually a pretty above average battle shonen. Like, the characters are really well developed and they're really fun to watch. And it just shows you tits all the time. Like, it just puts giant fucking boobs on the screen, like, all the fucking time. And it's like, what's not to love? The characters are really fun, man. Especially like Akino, Rias, Konako, I forget it, Kiba? Kiba is the name, the guy. He's great. And then they introduce more characters as the show goes on. Ross Vice's really great. Edina's really great. Zenobia's kind of eh. I love this show. I think High School DxD is such a blast, man. If you are of age, and you're okay with watching a show that just has fucking boobs on the screen like 90% of its runtime, this is a kick-ass show. You should definitely check it out. It's very pervy, it's very degenerate, but I mean, it totally embraces it. Like, I feel like that's why it's so loved. I feel like that's why it's such a classic of like the horny, like degenerate genre, because it just completely embraces what it is, and it's not afraid of it, it's not like ashamed of it at all, and it just makes it really damn fun to watch. So I really like High School DxD. I'm gonna put this in A tier. I just think it's such a damn blast, man. And honestly, like, the first like 5 episodes of this are actually like legitimately great. Like, it actually tells a really great story for like the first 5 episodes. Oh yes, I just saw what's next. Oh my god. Haikyuu. This is low-key my favorite shonen after like Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Seriously. I love this show. I absolutely love Haikyuu. This is a show about volleyball. And it is so much more fun and so much more exhilarating and exciting to watch than any battle shonen you have ever seen. This show does such an immaculate job at developing each and every single one of its characters and making the story so tight and so well written and having these insanely hype moments in a freaking volleyball game. There were moments in this show where I stood on my bed and cheered out loud like my father watching the Super Bowl, dude. I am dead serious. This show is freaking amazing. If you have not watched Haikyuu and you are just an anime fan at all, even if you hate sports, I don't like sports whatsoever. And this is probably my favorite shonen after Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, straight up. This show is amazing. I cannot say that loud enough. Haikyuu is phenomenal. I will say that I have not yet seen season 4, and I actually need to finish season 3 as well. I kind of lost interest at about halfway through season 3, but it wasn't because of a quality drop whatsoever. I was loving the show from when I started, from when I stopped. I just need to get back into it. One of the reasons is I was watching it subbed, which is fine. The sub is fine, but I've heard so many amazing things about the dub that I really want to go and rewatch it dubbed, but Crunchyroll doesn't have the damn dub. They have the dub for every single language except English. What the fuck, Crunchyroll? I love this show. Haikyuu is an S+. Alrighty. Hunter x Hunter. Ooh, this is gonna be fun. This show is so strange for me. This show is brilliant. Oh, absolutely brilliant. It's phenomenal. This is like one of the best shonens I have ever seen. Bar none. Maybe the best, honestly. Battle shonen. But for some reason, this show, I watch this show, I get like 50 episodes into it, and then I just completely lose interest. And then like a year later, I come back and repeat the cycle. And it's happened twice now. It happened once, and then it happened again, and I'm currently on break from it. I got to like, I think I literally got to like when it's about to like blow the fuck up. Like I'm about like 60% through the Chimera Ant arc right now, so I'm at like episode 115 or something like that. So I'm literally like there. I'm literally like at the point where it's about to be like amazing, and I just could not continue it. I was just really bored of it. But pretty soon, definitely pretty soon. It's been a long time since then. I'm gonna go jump back into it, and I'm sure it's gonna be amazing. But even with how much it does that to me, there is no denying the quality of this show. It is phenomenal. Like, I can say from start to finish, Hunter x Hunter has been phenomenal. It is so well written. The characters are so great. They're so well developed. The music's a little meh. I'm not a fan of Departure. I think it's such a mid fucking opening. I'm so goddamn sick of hearing it. But like, my favorite arcs are actually probably the exam arc and the Greed Island arc. Of course, DK likes the Isekai arc, but seriously, I love those two arcs. And I'd say those are probably my favorite arcs. Honestly, the Chimera Ant arc, I haven't really thought it was that amazing so far. Again, I haven't reached like the big highs of it. And there's, obviously it's still great. It's still Hunter x Hunter. But I don't know, the Chimera Ant arc for me has not hit those points yet. But there's no denying the quality of this show. It's phenomenal. I will say there's an arc in like season 2 that's a little bit weaker. The whole tournament arc with the guy who's like trying to teach them Nen for the first time. That's kind of boring, and it's kind of hard to follow the whole process of learning Nen. It was for me anyway. Maybe I'm on an island with that, but I have talked to some other people who had that same opinion. But aside from that little bit, man, the show is just great. It's got great characters, great villains in the Spider Troop and all them, the Chimera Ants as well. And it's just really compelling and really well written. Like, I don't know what else to say. Hunter x Hunter's amazing. I'm going to put it in S+. I'm just going to put HXH. Alrighty. Oh, this one will be a fast one. How not to summon a demon lord. I'm a big isekai fan. This was a isekai that was getting some hype, so I checked it out. And it was so boring, so generic. I could not have given less of a shit about it. I dropped it after like 4 episodes. I just was not a fan. Typical OP as all hell character, gets a harem, nothing fun. The opening sucked. Yeah, not a fan. I'm gonna put this in C tier. Honestly, I'm putting it in D tier. I didn't like it at all. Alright, and like, the reason Black Summoner went in C tier was because the opening was decent. This doesn't even have a good opening, so I'm just gonna put How Not to Summon a Demon Lord in D tier, because it was just mid. Alrighty. I've been killing slimes for the past like 3,000, I don't even remember the goddamn name. I checked this show out because it was an isekai with slimes in it. And that was the biggest mistake of my life, because this show sucks ass. This show is so goddamn terrible. I hated this show. It was so fucking boring. This show felt like a fucking like toddler anime. It was so goddamn boring, so unfun to watch. I just hated it. It was so fucking miserable to watch. All the characters sucked. They all just talked so weird. The opening was okay, but I got like 5 episodes into this and I just completely abandoned this show forever. Like, I'm just not a fan. I'm putting this in D tier as well. I'm just gonna put I've been killing slimes. There we go. Do not watch this show. It's fucking terrible. Alright, do we want to end it there? No, let's finish I real quick. Okay. Interviews with Monster Girls. This is a great way. This is a great place to end it too, because oh man, this is such an underrated show. This is such a great freaking show. If you're a fan of slice of life like I am, this is such a great show. It's super wholesome. It's super fun. The characters are great. The opening is great. I loved this show, honestly. Like, I had such a blast with this show. I checked this show out because I saw the preview on, I think it was my Tensora Season 1 Steelbook. I saw the preview on that. Or maybe it was Dragon Maid Season 1. It was one of those two for sure. But I saw it on there, and so I put it on my Crunchyroll watch list. And then eventually one day I really wanted to watch like a wholesome English dub in like the same vein as like Yuru Camp or something. So I threw this on, and it did the trick so well. This is such a fun and enjoyable show. Again, the opening is fantastic. The characters are great. The voice acting is great. It's a phenomenal English dub. You got Sarah Weidenheft in there, which is awesome. this is a great show. If you're a fan of slice of life or anything like that, if you love shows like that are like really wholesome and make and just uplift you, go check out Interviews with Monster Girls, man. This is a good ass show, and I'm still hoping that it'll get a season 2, man. It's really, really, really fun. Alright, so I'm gonna put Interviews with Monster Girl. I'm gonna put this in A tier. I think it's fantastic, honestly. I think with a few more seasons, this could easily be like a new contender for like slice of life, man. It's really fucking good, and I think more people need to talk about it. So there we go. We're going to call it there because J is going to be quite a complicated one. So we're going to call it there. How many letters did we get through? We got through 1, 2, 3, 4. So pretty much exactly the same amount we got through in the first episode. I kind of like the idea of keeping these episodes a bit shorter right there. I'll also throw this out there for anybody watching this. Feel free to watch this series in like extra speed. Like I definitely feel like you could like turn this up to like points like 0.5 speed or something like that and enjoy it a little bit more. So yeah, feel free to do that. I was kind of even thinking about maybe throwing that in like the description of the first episode. So I hope you guys are enjoying this video. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and this is Diego signing out.